This is the time, this is the place, and this is FC3 Monkey Business, your one-stop shop for everything geeky, and since anything is geeky, if you love it enough, you never know what you're going to get. This is your host, T. This week we'll be covering a variety of topics: the Marvel Comics Reboot, the new Mighty Monkey Twitch channel, the 12th Annual Golden Geek Awards, and more. After that, stick around for our Everyday Hero shoutouts and our Question of the Week.
Well done.
Thank you.
You wanted to do that, too. That was kind of cool. I didn't throw you under the bus and said, Tanya, take us in.
No, I thought about it.
You did your thing.
I think it's going from agriculture to architecture from
the
last
week you were having a hard time with it.
I was.
Which is funny
sculpture?
for a school teacher to have a hard time with something like that.
I think you should have said, this is Mrs. T, and I pity the fool that doesn't listen.
Okay, let's back it up.
You missed an opportunity.
This is
All
Miss
right.
T, and I pity the fool.
We'll keep it going, Tanya. Keep it going. Act 1, intros and shoutouts. Do your thing. Oh, we lost her already.
You
see,
it's like the Nazis. You broke me.
Who's here?
Who's here? Well, we have Billy.
Hi.
Because he thinks I'm Mrs. T, and I'm going to pity the fool.
You don't have enough gold chains on.
No, I don't. Actually, I'm wearing silver. And on the phone is Sherry and Monk.
Hello.
Hello,
so Sarah,
ladies.
Are they still there?
Hello.
We didn't hang up on them accidentally.
No. Also in the studio is Dolly and Edwin.
Hello.
Hello.
Dolly Wobbles.
And not yet. My bouncing baby boy is not in the studio because he's at home probably kind of
being antisocial.
Yes, wandering in and out of his room or something.
Right.
I don't know. But then we do have Ian on the other side of Chris.
Hi.
Hello.
How you doing, big
we
man?
actually have
Not
the
bad.
illustrious host, Chris.
Hello.
Now, go ahead. Take it.
Now I take it? Okay. So it's
Passing it
it.
back over to you.
now it's on to me. Tossing it to you. All right. So how's everybody doing so far?
Great.
Did we have a good week?
Oh, yeah.
We had a good week.
No, not really.
My birthday was this week.
Yay!
I was so excited.
That's
And you're
cool
now
this
what?
week.
53? Ow. I will get kicked.
I'm 46, and my mommy and daddy bought me an Apple Watch for my birthday.
Aww.
I'm so excited.
Is it tasty?
Yes.
Is it made of apples?
No.
No.
Did
Honeycrisp?
Does it watch you?
You'd be surprised.
Check
no,
the
it
microwaves.
actually has some cool things. So
You had some cool things?
yeah.
So if I see you checking out your wrist on a regular basis.
You know, I wanted
This
to
is a
kind of
thing.
flip it so the watch was on here and I could go like this.
Okay.
And talk into it.
You want to wear your watch like I do, where the face of it is
Face
on
is
the,
on the inside,
the
but
inside
I
of your wrist.
might hit it on stuff. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Smashy.
that would not be
Let me
good.
tell you,
It
people.
is purple. It's very.
I've been wearing my watch with the face on the inner side of my wrist, I think, since I was in college. I wore it on top.
That was a lifetime ago.
It was a long time ago. I wore it on top when I was in high school, and then I have thin wrists, and so the bigger face watches always bump into the bony little protrusions in my wrist, and so I've just started wearing it underneath, and it's been more comfortable for me. I can tell you, I have never, ever smashed my watch on anything. So I'd say give it a shot, see what happens. Of course, now that I've said that, I just jinxed
Yeah,
you.
no.
Do you have a guarantee on the watch, just in case?
I don't know. I'd have to ask my mommy.
Yeah, see, there you go.
I don't know. She Amazon Primed it.
Billy, how you doing?
I'm good. I actually have a technology thing. I'm not sure if I mentioned it on this podcast in the past.
No.
But I do want to bring it up because it's something you sort of referenced.
Okay.
Just sort of the scariness of technology and the possibilities of things listening to you and watching you without you
Yeah.
meaning to.
Uh-huh.
I was taking a walk a couple weeks ago, and I stopped to get some lunch.
Okay.
And where I was eating, the TV was on. I had my Kindle with me, my Amazon Kindle. And I had been listening to podcasts and music and things. But as I ate lunch, I looked up at the TV at the place, and they were showing old episodes of The Office on Comedy Central.
Okay.
You know, Stephen Carell and Jim Krasinski and the rest. So I was watching. I forgot how much I loved The Office. I'm a big fan. I hadn't seen it in a while. So I get home from my walk, and I tell Susan, I was watching The Office. I forgot how much I love that show. It's really funny, blah, blah, blah. And just raving for 30 seconds about The Office. Not an hour later, I get an email from Amazon suggesting I buy the first season of The Office on DVD.
Oh, my. Oh, that's scary.
Well, there's algorithms plugged into Facebook, and anything that's hooked to your email account, like if you're on something, whether it's
But
your
I was
email,
watching. I was just carrying the Kindle. It has Alexa on it.
but still, it's a matter of it.
Is that like basically an aspect of geofencing? I think I've
so.
heard that. Okay.
Because I've been driving. If I drive through the BJ's Plaza in Henrietta. Kohl's is on the other side, and I have a Kohl's app. And no sooner of I'm on the back side of Kohl's by BJ's and Raymore and Flanagan, my Kohl's app will ping and it'll say, oh, blah, 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 blah. It's all that geofencing.
So how did they know I told my wife that I like The Office?
It was listening.
It was Agent Ross.
Yes.
It was Agent Ross.
It was always Apple Watch.
I'm sorry, Billy. I can't do that.
Sorry to
Alexa.
babble. I just
No, that was cool. That's good. That's good.
That's the whole thing of Facebook. It's I like the Celtic heart.
But if I click,
thing
if I click on an ad, I understand that it's going to pop up. But the fact that I was speaking to someone, and the fact that then I got an email, and plus they should know I already have it.
Yeah, well, there's that. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
You should be watching your collection of the first season of The Office.
Alexa is a code word for an agent, FBI agent.
Yeah, I know. I have a little Echo Dot on my desk at home. So every so often, and Ian and I will play with it every so often. Alexa, can you do this? Alexa, do this. And then what really kind of weirded me out one time is I had asked it to play Collective Soul, which is one of my favorite bands. And then, so that's the little Echo Dot sitting next to my computer, attached to the network by Wi-Fi. And then later that evening, I'm getting little blurbs on Facebook. Oh, here's the Collective Soul collection on DVD or Collective Soul on CD, or hey, you get their latest album. Oh, here tour dates, and I'm like, on Facebook. And I'm like, I'm a little nervous now. I'm not gonna lie there.
I'm sorry. I just looked at Dolly's post to Monkey Business.
Oh, with the cat? Yeah. Sherry trying to wrangle Chris. There's a cat stuck to a door.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know why you guys are thinking that way.
I don't know.
I've behaved myself lately. I'm working very hard. Stop it. It's still early in the podcast yet. This is episode 73 on a very special episode of Monkey Business.
Chris is being wrangled by Sherry.
Yeah, no. I think
no power in the verse can stop Sherry.
I think what eventually is going to read is Sherry's trying to strangle Chris. Is pretty soon is what's going to happen. So, see, she knows. She's laughing because she knows.
I'm just waiting for the text messages to smack you.
Yeah, no, because you're an arm length, but that goes two ways. All right. Don't even, Ian. Don't even.
Oh, you did say two ways, left and right.
Okay. Sweetheart, I don't go both ways in all directions. All right.
You're not John Barrowman?
I'm not John Barrowman. He goes in all directions.
He got a new Tesla.
I want to see. No. There's a situation I want to see. I want to see John Barrowman being a host of a podcast and Sherry trying to wrangle his ass. That would be my vengeance right there.
I'm willing to take one for the team.
There you go. Ian, hand this over to Edwin. And Edwin, do the sponsor shout-outs for me today, would you?
Oh, I can't do them?
Not yet, because you're next on something else.
Oh.
So, Edwin, take us down the list of sponsors. It's about 2 inches down that piece of paper.
Is one of them about
there.
World War II?
No.
All right,
we
we're
are
good.
sponsored by World War II.
Legoland 1. It's right where your thumb is, dude. There it is. Edwin, can you find the sponsorship shout-outs?
I found it.
There we go.
Magnified
Get right in
glass.
on that mic, dude.
Mr. Magoo.
Pop them out.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, jeez. All right.
My ADD's kicking. Hold on.
Note to self, do not let Edwin read the sponsorship shout-outs
Here you
again.
go.
Make
It's
the
a
text
sponsor
bigger.
shout-outs underlined with the
Yep, I see it.
Okay.
Give a sponsor shout out to Knox, Salinas, First Print Comics, The Great Escape Room, Wibbly Wobbly, Timey Wimey.
Beautiful.
Who
Can I have
is
that
bringing
paperback?
us Caitlin Blackwood.
Caitlin Blackwood, the young Amelia Pond from seasons
What is
5,
it?
6, and 7.
Custard and...
Fish fingers and custard.
Yes.
Fish fingers and custard, which I have tried, and it's really not that bad.
Ew.
It really isn't.
Story? Can I tell a story?
Sure, go ahead. Tell a story. Once upon a time.
Okay. For those who are Doctor Who fans, a friend of ours had the absolute best Doctor Who proposal.
Okay.
They lived in New Jersey, just over the bridge from New York City, and he got all of her friends to come down and strategically place them in different areas of New York City.
Oh, cool.
Then set her on a scavenger hunt to all these different areas that meant something to them throughout their relationship. And each time she got to a place, she would pick up one of her friends who was dressed as a Doctor Who character.
Okay.
and did this all the way through, and then got to the end, and he was actually dressed as the doctor when he proposed.
Nice. Which doctor?
It was awesome. My friend Gabby, who doesn't watch Doctor Who, knows nothing about Doctor Who, was dressed as Donna.
Okay.
Which she didn't understand why they picked her to play Donna. And I said, that's because if you don't know anything, that's okay. Because her memory was
lost her memory.
She's lost her. Oh, wow.
Well, fun fact, Ten and Billy Piper are actually in Cleveland right now.
Are they?
Yes.
Are they there for a con?
And chances are Heather from Wibbly Wobbly is like going, yeah, over there. Fangirling. Yes.
My friend is there, and he posted pictures yesterday, and I'm like, I want to go.
Yeah.
It's only 5 hours.
That's something I hope to do
It's
more in
only
the future, is
5
actually
hours.
go to other conventions, which I've typically been traditionally very bad at, is getting to other conventions. I want to start like traveling a little bit more.
I can cross the border now.
You can? You have your enhanced license
I do
finally?
have my enhanced license. It arrived in the mail yesterday.
That's
or Friday.
nice.
Yes.
You realize Canada doesn't want you, though. You're on a no-fly list.
That's why I'm driving.
Well, see, that's the thing.
You read my mind.
Yeah. I'm glad she picked up on that. I really am.
No,
So,
Never mind.
no, it's too
late.
late.
I wasn't prepared.
Nobody's ever prepared for Tanya to throw a one-liner out. Come on.
Maybe it's time for the doctor to consider an experienced companion.
Oh, boy. Tanya just showed me a meme that's actually a crossover between Doctor Who and Firefly. Mm-hmm. And the comment was, maybe it's time for the doctor to consider an experienced companion. Firefly fans, where do you think that one's going? The picture next to the TARDIS is Inara.
Well, you know.
That could be interesting now that we have Jodie Whittaker as the doctor. You might get a whole new viewership going on.
No, I mean, because last weekend I binged Firefly, and then I finally watched Serenity. Was it Wednesday night or Thursday night?
I don't know.
And some of it, so
I wasn't there. I was home sleeping because I do that lately. I pass out in the chair. You know, it's a mess.
So did Edwin.
Watching
I was a lot
Jurassic
younger
Park.
than you.
Watching the Jurassic Park Marathon was on TBS, I think, recently.
It wasn't a marathon. It was just 1, 2, and 3.
It was the first 3 Jurassic Parks, just over and over and over
over
again, like 3 or 4 cycles of it. It was,
It's kind of like watching A Christmas Story during Christmas time.
yes,
Yes.
that.
Oh, they do
Eve.
Groundhog's Day like that all the time on that channel. They just play the Groundhog's Day all day.
I maintain that they need to say that Groundhog's Day is finally getting a sequel, okay, and then you just release the original movie.
Well, it's funny. It's funny because last week's or 2 weeks ago on Legends of Tomorrow, it was a Groundhog's Day reference.
Oh, nice.
One of the characters kept reliving the same time over and over again.
It's a trope that a lot of shows have been doing lately.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Librarians
I need
did
to
one.
catch up.
Librarians did one, and,
I
and they
need to
even
catch
referenced
up on Librarians.
they even referenced Groundhog's Day in the process of it. It's Groundhog Day. What else we got? We did the introducing. Hi guys. We did sponsorships. Hey guys. And now we're doing Patreon. Hi guys.
Can you do a little more of hey guys than on the Patreon?
That's next because we have the Apple 5-star reviews. Hi guys. Anyway, Patreon. Patreon. Somebody actually asked me that because they were like, Patreon, how's it spelled? I'm like, you should figure that out. You're older
Sure
than I
that
am.
wasn't me.
No, it wasn't you. You didn't ask me that one. That's strange because you misspell everything else.
He asked you how to spell hi.
He asked me to spell pie.
I know how to spell pie, thank you. S-H-E.
Yeah, okay.
P-I. P-I.
All right, P-I-P-Y.
P-I as of on March 14th. It's
Yes,
Pi Day.
it's Pi Day. That was last week's episode. Last week's episode was on Pi Day.
Yes.
P-I-T-T-Y.
On Sybil's birthday.
On Sybil's birthday.
Now,
See,
did
now
she
I
have
want
pie
pie.
for her birthday?
I'm pretty sure she did.
Maybe I'll stop and get pie on the way home.
So anyway, keep an eye on our Patreon in the coming week. We got some changes coming up, and don't forget to support us. So subscribe to Patreon, Patreon.com /FC3ROC. Hey, aqueduct and agricultural and architecture. So I don't want to hear a damn thing out of you today.
That's like a 10-letter word compared to your Patreon, which is like 7.
Oh, Lord.
Is it size doesn't matter?
Apple Watch.
Apple Watch.
Look it up on your Apple Watch. Speaking of Apple, we got Apple 5-star reviews. Hey, you want help others find the show? Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Every review will be thanked on the air, and any question will be answered, including how to pronounce agriculture and architecture.
Spoiler.
Smell like a monkey. All right. We want this to be a conversation. So seriously, Apple 5-star reviews, the more 5-star reviews we get, the more likely our podcast will get put out in front of other people. So give us a hand. Help us spread the word that we're here. We've been here. This is our 73rd episode. And so help us get the word out. And Tanya, why are you laughing at me now? This is like, I was being serious for a change.
I'm not laughing at you.
She's laughing in your
I'm
general
laughing
direction.
at the stupid joke that Riker told me
What
yesterday.
was the stupid joke that your 9-year-old son told you yesterday?
What do you get when you cross a Christmas tree with an iPhone?
What do you get when you cross a Christmas tree and an iPhone? Oh, I don't even want to. Go ahead.
A pineapple.
Oh.
Come on, that's a good one.
I think Tanya's had too many Cadbury eggs.
Yeah.
Not enough.
Are they filled with rum now? Is that what's happening?
Where's all the rum?
But why is all the rum gone? Oh.
I don't like rum. Yes.
Oh, no.
What do you call an overdramatic Christmas tree?
Tell me.
Chris Pine.
Oh.
That was a good one.
And here's the best part. We're telling Christmas jokes during the Easter season. So
No, that one was just...
so this is great.
Billy's ready.
Billy's ready. He's on the trigger. He's on the trigger. I got nothing. I really do.
Tanya woke up for this one.
Wow.
I don't think I can spell or pronounce architecture or agriculture this time.
ACU culture.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Uh-huh. Somebody give me a fork so I can stick it into Tanya. She's done. Wowzers. All right.
I was tired from the last one.
We are going to, now that we've got all the intro stuff out of the way, and then we're going to give Tanya a chance to catch her breath. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear a blurb or listen to some music or do something. Please, Billy, save me.
Hopefully it's nothing that'll make
Billy,
me laugh.
save us. And when we come back today, we're going to be discussing the Marvel Comics Reboot.
See, I will hang out with almost anyone. I mean, that's where it comes right down to. I'm a good sport about the whole hanging out. I do draw the line, and it's a very serious line in the sand, very far down the road, but drawn it is, and it's right before the war reenactment guys. That makes me the nicest person on the planet, because I don't know if you know how far into the dork forest you gotta go to get to the war reenactment guys. Pretty deep. You have to go, like, by the Beanie Baby people and the Star Wars guys and the Renaissance Festival freaks and the Pokemon kids. You have to go by Harry Potter himself to get to the war reenactment guys, who I will not hang out with anymore. How sad is that? Because they're always saying stuff like, every weekend, I just eat hardtack with weevils in it, because that's what it was really like during the Revolutionary War. I'll be over here. And no girls allowed. You can't play. I don't want to play. Still no girls allowed. Still do not wish to play. Swear to God. The guy goes, well, maybe you could play. Maybe you could be a pioneer prostitute. They had them. They called them camp followers. It turns out that I do not wish to be a pioneer prostitute. I don't want there to be a sign in the fake Lewis and Clark window, storefront window, that says, Jackie Cation puts out for pelts.
And we're back.
Wow. On that happy and
That
pious
was just
note.
bad.
It was funny when she makes the Renaissance Festival freaks. I can hear Sherry in the background going, hey.
I thought it was the
I resemble
Pokemon
that
thing.
remark.
I thought it was Monk and the Pokemon.
No, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that part.
Oh.
That's okay. Is Monk still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Hi, Monk.
Hi.
She's mellow today.
Because she's not dancing in the production booth.
Seriously, that's like one of the funniest things ever. Is just watching her jigging around in the production booth. It's like the cutest thing ever.
Saying, they have him on my Skype channel.
So what's our main topic today? Our main topic today is Marvel Comics has announced plans to revitalize its entire publishing line in 2018 promising new creative teams, new series, and more. Billy, this is serious fallout from Brian Michael Bendis. I'm pretty sure of it. Because he left Marvel and went to DC, which is like Johnny Damon leaving the Red Sox after the 2004 series and heading to the Yankees, of all things.
Yeah.
So it's basically their reaction to their big creative genius jumping ship and taking off. And now that he knew everything they were going to do, so now they got to do something different now.
Can we just get back to the days when didn't there used to be a saying where everyone's first, or what is it? Every comic book is someone's first comic.
Right.
So they didn't want these long, convoluted explanations. They wanted people to be able to jump in and sort of figure out what would happen.
Do you think this is something they're going to try and do with this revitalization?
They
try
keep
to
threatening.
reset?
I don't believe anybody anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
I've sort of stopped reading current comics and picking up trades when things catch my eyes rather than individual issues.
I haven't had a pull list in about 6 months, I think, at this point. So I might pick up a couple of the titles just to see what they do with it.
Isn't it because you've got a stack of stuff 4
I
feet
still,
high?
yeah,
that you
I still have
read?
a stack of stuff 4 feet high, and I've also been trying to save money to buy a house. I get it. So there's things. So here we go. At least one aspect of the relaunch has been revealed. Marvel's numerous Avengers titles will be condensed into a single book, Avengers.
Avengers 1, Spearheads.
Which will kick off in Avengers number 1 in May. Avengers will be written by Jason Aaron and drawn by Ed McGuinness, and will publish 18 issues in a year rather than the monthly 12. So that sounds like a positive change because there was so many different Avengers titles. It was so hard to keep up with things. So having a single Avengers title is definitely a plus. The character lineup for the team will feature the traditional big three, Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man. Each in their classic incarnations as Steve Rogers, Thor Odinson, and Tony Stark. Black Panther will be in the Avengers, Captain Marvel, Robbie Reyes as Ghost Rider,
and Hulk.
and Jennifer Waters as the Hulk, as a She-Hulk. Or is she dropping the word she and just being the Hulk? She's just going to be Hulk. And Doctor Strange will also temporarily join the group in a rotating slot. So I guess he's going to be like a reoccurring guest character kind of a thing.
I'm reading the same thing as you are.
Coolness. And seeing how Avengers will kick off with a new number 1 issue, Marvel will be abandoning the confusing renumbering of September's Marvel Legacy, which renumbered every Marvel title as if it had never been relaunched or renumbered. As an example, Black Panther number 18 in September of 2017 was immediately followed by Black Panther 166 in October. That Marvel Legacy thing, I'm going to just say it right now. The Marvel Legacy thing was a bit of a fail sauce, I'm going to say, just from my own observations.
What's Marvel Legacy?
Marvel Legacy was Marvel's attempt to try and kind of restore some of what these titles used to be back in their original forms, bypassing some of the stories that have popped up over the past few years. And, yeah, it was kind of... I think it would have been better if they did it less ham-fisted, is really what it feels like. It was very ham-fisted. So, Billy, you're more of a DC guy, so I don't know if you're going to have much of an opinion on this, but what do you think of Marvel's tactic here at the moment?
The concept in general, I want them to stick with something.
Yeah.
You know, they could say they're going to go back to the old style, but until they do it for, I want to say, years, I don't believe them. I just don't believe DC. I don't believe Marvel. I mean, DC has relaunched numerous times, and Marvel has. Right now, I don't believe either of them, so I just go for the characters I like, and like I said, now pick up trades and stories that I'm hearing good things about.
Okay. That sounds fair enough. Edwin, you collect at all? You're more of a gamer than anything else, am I correct?
Yeah, more of a gamer, but mostly like I download the comics other than buy them. Dolly's the one that collects the comics.
How about you, Dolly Wobbles? What do you think? That's your new nickname. I'm going to be calling you that from here on in now.
Whenever I get pregnant, you can call me Dolly Waddles.
No, that's Dolly Waddles at that point.
She can wobble, too.
Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down?
Yep.
I was thinking that, but I do fall down often.
So does he.
I fell into the laundry
nearly as often.
basket. I have no idea how I got in there.
It's all good. We still love you, honey. All right, so anyway, back to the topic at hand.
Sorry. I'm more of a DC girl, so
Right.
all the comics I collect pretty much are all DC.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I can only hope that they go in that direction. I'm kind of... This is more of like a new topic for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Marvel comics. But the one fun fact, though, I keep seeing like memes after like the whole Black Panther thing that the only Latino character we have is Nacho Libre, and I'm like, no. I'm like, Miles
Is that a
Morales.
luchador?
You got Miles Morales. You got
Blue Beetle.
the guy who I mentioned, Robbie Reyes, is Ghost Rider.
Robbie Reyes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Blue Beetle.
And I
Yeah.
was messing with him because I out-nerded him on
White
that
Tiger.
fact.
White Tiger's another Hispanic character that I know of. I can't think of. I know there's a few more, but I can't think of them all.
Yeah, those are the ones that pop right into my head. I'm like, wait, but Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
And he didn't know that.
I did not.
I
There's
had
been a
to,
couple
like,
of different Ghost Riders.
I had to point out that I just out-nerded him with that.
There you go. Now, Billy and Dolly, being the DC fans, they've done the New 52 and now Rebirth. It's kind of the same idea. How has that gone for DC? How's
I've enjoyed a bunch of the Rebirth launches, and I didn't mind New 52 because, to be honest with you, I jumped back into buying comics after a long layoff with the New 52, and I stopped in a couple comic book shops on a free comic book day back then and saw Earth 2 and World's Finest. Oh, let me try these. These look good, and I like them. And then, okay, let me go Batman, Superman, and I enjoyed them, and now I like the Rebirth also.
Okay. So a good solid reboot is something that can function and something that can work.
Yeah.
It depends on how you deploy it. I guess
a lot of the
new.
New 52 wound up not being great. But a lot of the Rebirth, the Flash comics and Rebirth were really good.
I've heard that.
And I've Batman, they've never messed with all that much. You know, there wasn't. I mean, Batman is Batman. His parents were killed, and he became dark and sullen, and has the best rogues gallery in comics as far as I'm concerned. So there's always
that debate.
strong.
I think we need to have that debate somewhere along the line. The best rogues gallery, because I've heard the same thing of Flash and Spider-Man.
I would put Batman first, Spider-Man second, Flash third.
Okay, that was a quick debate.
Well, no, I mean other people disagree, and that maybe there's other people that disagree and have other nominations.
Well, a little piece of trivia in regards to this relaunch.
Here we go.
In regards to Marvel, this will be the 7th time that the publisher has done a relaunch in 6 years.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
Whereas DC has done 3 relaunches in the same time.
Okay.
So they were like people might have issues with this because some of the main reason that the relaunches are happening is they can always depend on the sales bump. So they're looking at that money aspect.
See, I hate the renumbering of comics, though.
Yeah.
I really do. To me, Superman or Action Comics number 1 was 1938, and
that should
Superman,
be number 1.
That's number 1. You can't restart Action Comics 2 or 3 times after that.
I think they tried to go back to the original scheme with, like we were saying, with Legacy.
Actually, 1000 is coming out soon, and then they're renumbering it again after 1000.
They have issues.
It just confuses.
It does. I think it throws a lot of things off.
Then you don't know really where to start.
Right.
So
Right.
It's like if someone wants to get into collecting comic books, and I mean, I've had the conversation going, where do I start? Who do I start with? If I want to pick up comic books, and it's still now going to be even more challenging to figure out where to start. Do I start with the relaunch that comes out in May, or do I go back to like the original storylines?
Well, you know what? I think this
with?
is going to be your opportunity. If you're a wannabe Marvel fan, if you're newer or somebody who's just recently started picking up comics, I think this if it's played well, this could be a good situation for you to kind of jump in and become a regular. This is your opportunity. Whereas I think Marvel Legacy, I could see Marvel Legacy last fall throwing people into a complete tizzy if they were like Billy, they're completists. Suddenly they have issue 166 of Black Panther. Well, then where's 165, 64, 63? I got to have them all now. What happened?
Billy's like, no.
Yeah.
And when you try to piece that together, you're like, what? Well, huh? So.
I think the best way to do it now is to just, if you have a favorite character, ask other fans and then pick up that storyline. If you're a Spider-Man fan, Kraven's Last Hunt.
Oh, yeah, it was a great storyline.
Yeah.
Amazing storyline.
Well, that's the problem I had when I started comic book collecting a few years ago. Was like, I'm like, oh, I need number whatever from this series, and they're like, but which series do you need number whatever
I
from?
don't
And
know.
I'm like,
Yeah.
there's multiple number whatevers.
Yeah.
I just want number 125. What do you mean? There's 5 different 125s, but
X-Men fans go through that pain on a regular basis.
Yeah, you get confused.
Like they have Uncanny X-Men, and then they have something else, and then you have something else, and all that things in regards to X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I first started collecting back in the 80s, my very first comic book ever was Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man 291. Mm-hmm. And I picked it up, not really thinking anything of it, and there was a couple of storylines that were leading up to the big 300 where he would ditch. He was in the process of ditching the black suit, and there was Venom was involved and things like that. And then just so as I started picking things up, I'm like, oh, I realized I missed something. So I started kind of going backwards. I was backtracking. I would go to Empire Comics over on Mount Hope and pick up issue 290 and 289, 280. And the girl I was dating at the time, my freshman year of college, Gabrielle, she went to get me a Christmas present. She was going to give me a couple of back issues in the 280s of Spider-Man. Well, there was some plot lines. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but there was some plot lines going on, and they were fairly expensive. The back issue goes, I don't love you that much. I'm like, hey, thank you for thinking of it, though. That was his thing. So, but she did actually. She did pick me up a couple of back issues. I remember that now. So if she's listening, thank you. I still have them. So anyway, Marvel's going to reboot. Do you think that this is going to have you're going to see something reflected from the movies, or is it going to help lead to maybe new source material now that Marvel Cinematic Universe has a lot of the Fox and Sony titles under their disposal again?
Here's a question: with the movies being so popular, do you have those storylines reflected in the comics, or do you keep them separate?
Ooh, that could be interesting. I mean, they've done such a poor job of tying their TV and their movies together. So would they then tie the comic books and the movies together and thus thumb their noses even more at the TV series? Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Netflix series, the Defenders and whatnot.
I have to watch Friday's episode. Sorry.
Juliana has found out that Dove Cameron, the actress who has been in several Disney things, is going to be on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. now as a regular. So because of that, she wants to watch all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. so she can understand the story.
Spoiler.
There it is. Sherry, what do you think? You're not much of a comic book collector, are you?
No, not really. My problem has always been collecting comics is kind of like watching a soap opera. You can't just drop down in the middle of it.
Right. Right. How about you, Monk?
I mean, I've got some Miss Marvel stuff, but there are spots where I'm like, wait, I missed something because she's on Ace Force, and it's just like,
yeah.
Well, I don't have that one.
And then they do these crossover events all the time and mix and match.
That's where
events.
I feel lucky that I grew up in the 70s, where literally an issue told the story, and then you could go on to the next issue.
Yeah.
And if something was connected, there'd be a little note with an asterisk. As seen in issue 114 of Brave and the Bold, Batman and Robin, did whatever.
Right.
And there was always just a little note to explain. And I'm not thrilled with the way comics do things nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as I said in our last episode, I only really collected 2 titles. I collected X Factor, and I collected the New Mutants. And thankfully, I had my brother in the house, so I could say, "Okay, what's the relationship between these 2 characters? I don't get this." And he'd be like, "Oh, okay." He'd sit me down and he'd tell me everything that was going on, so I would know that. Monk doesn't have that.
Well, DC, circling back to the TV series and the movie versus kind of linking in, DC actually put Felicity Smoke in the comics when she wasn't in the comics before.
She was created for the TV series.
Yeah, she was created for the TV series, but now she's in the comics. And she's Overwatch, hence why.
Right.
Ground.
Yeah.
Overwatch.
I always, I'm going to touch on that real quick. I know that's a DC thing, and we're talking about Marvel today, but I just want to touch on that real quick. I always thought that that Arrow, the TV series, missed an opportunity because one of Arrow's and Flash's villains is Mirror Master. So you need to have an episode named Smoke and Mirrors.
Great.
Come on. That's a thing. That's not a bad idea at all. That'd
You're
be
hired.
Cool. There you go. See? I come up with some badass ideas. You're all here, right? Because of one of my ideas. There you have it. Ha. Anyway.
And dead air for that.
Oh, stop. I was about to jump into something. Dead air. I'm like, you stop me from speaking. What do you want?
Tanya's
10,000
got into
XP.
Tanya's in reach today. I can come here. I'm going to take. That's it.
Stop it!
We're just having our own fun over here right now. All right, so it'll
Back
be
to
interesting
Marvel.
to see. Back to Marvel. Make mine Marvel. May of 2018 will be a reboot, and it's going to start with Avengers #1, and they're going to be publishing 18 issues a year rather than the monthly 12. All right, so that'll be interesting to see what kind of transpires and what kind of stories. What do we know much? I know I should know the name Jason Aaron. I feel like I should know that name, but I don't know. It's not ringing a bell for me. So Tanya is going to look it up for me, and I'm going to vamp for a moment while she Googles that.
He is an American comic book writer known for his work on titles such as Thor, The Other Side, Sculpt, Ghost Rider, Wolverine, and Punisher Max.
Oh, okay.
He is 45.
Is he?
And he's bald.
And he's
Yes.
most comic
Lots nice tattoos.
most comic book authors I'm noticing are lately.
As of early 2016, he writes The Mighty Thor, Doctor Strange, and Star Wars for Marvel Comics.
I liked the Mighty Thor.
And
Mighty Thor was a
Southern
good series.
Bastards and The Goddamned for Image Comics.
Okay. All right. So I like his artwork in Mighty Thor. So okay, I'm behind that. That'll be good. I don't think that's going to be a bad thing.
His career began in 2001 when he won a Marvel Comics talent search contest with an 8-page Wolverine backup story script.
Interesting.
Yep, it was published in Wolverine #175.
Okay.
So
Very, very cool. Very cool. All right.
So is he the guy replacing Bendis?
I'm not
as
sure if he's the new
mastermind?
Bendis or not, but I think he's probably going to be one of the big spearheads. We'll see. I think they don't have a Bendis yet.
and he's had DC Comics also.
What was Bendis' title with Marvel?
Daredevil.
Okay.
Well, probably others, but his run on Daredevil was phenomenal.
Yeah, I remember that being the legend. That's what everybody kind of goes. That's like his go-to piece de resistance kind of a thing. All right.
Let's see what else Bendis has done, because I'm sure it's a lot. Hold on. Bendis.
Jessica Jones.
Okay.
Miles Morales.
Avengers. He's worked on all the biggies.
Oh yeah, he's guided Marvel for a
Bendis
good.
has written his final Miles Morales Spider-Man story.
And it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that character now without him. I think that's going to be something to keep an eye on.
And Tanya turned him Jewish. Now he's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man? The Spider-Mans.
Hey, Spider-Man.
Sammy, turn the wallpaper. We're moving.
I'm done.
She just did an Ian.
She just did Ian, got up and walked out. Should we start talking about World War II then?
I guess so.
I know how it ends.
Oh, I just got the dirtiest look from my son just now. Oh, okay. I love you. I'll buy you something.
Feed him.
It's a Snickers bar, I guess. I don't know. All right. So I think we've taken that particular topic as far as we can take it at the moment.
I
so it's
think
just basically
now
wait and see.
waiting
Wait
to
and
see
see what
what
happens at this point. So I guess I got to show up at a comic book shop and rebuild a pull list.
We're finishing each other's sentences
I know.
way too often.
Well, we do that, though.
Yes.
We've been friends for a very long time now.
Ooh, I need a pull list.
You need a pull list?
Yeah, I need to make mine somewhere.
Uh-oh. Drum roll. Go ahead, Ian. No, and he backs off. Oh, no.
Slacker.
It was a fake out. Okay. What? Get it? Because we're about to close this section up. All right. You lost your chance. Close down Mike 4.
Edwin.
Bye, Mike 4.
He just he's flipping me off with a ceramic hand flipping me off. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's definitely like
it really
wait
is.
and see.
It's going to be a wait and see kind of a thing. So we'll have to talk about this probably like in September or October after we've had a few issues under our belt.
And maybe people, when they come to the show in June, if they have started that pull
definitely.
list, they can come find one of us and give us some ideas for a
we'll
later
probably
podcast.
we'll have our Marvel and DC discussions at the show in June.
Which get very heated.
The DC one did last year.
Yeah,
the DC
I
one almost
was
came
there.
to blows.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be able to get into some of the panels this year. I just kind of popped into the back part of it.
Let's stretch
I'll
things
tell you
too
and
much.
Colin.
Yes.
Oh, and Chris, by
Thought
the
I'd
way,
throw it out the way.
Yes.
going back into the Mirror Master and in the show, he actually did come out in the show already.
In the
Mirror
show.
Master.
Yeah,
Right.
but I'm
But
saying they should have
Smoke and
titled.
Mirrors.
They should have
Smoked and Mirrors.
They should have titled the episode "Smoke and Mirrors."
Gotcha,
I'm just
okay.
saying because that's just a thing. That's a thing for me. Anyway, All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll start wrapping up episode 73 here for you. We got some things to talk about and some shout-outs to do, and then we'll be on our way to
I don't think we're wrapping up
something
yet
next.
because we've got a couple different little segments.
Yeah,
in
but
regards to
we're going to blaze through them fairly quickly,
Okay.
I think. There's a lot of paper here for very little stuff we can shoot through, but anyway, because I don't think
Well,
we're
we
going
can put our own, in our next segment, we can put our own thoughts into that.
And we can watch Sherry start twitching.
Well, she did a whole bunch of notes in regards to the next segment.
It was the gaming thing.
That's the 12th Annual Geek Gaming Awards.
Right. We'll talk about that.
So, yeah.
All right, so we'll be
Look
right
at
back.
this stage, huh? Pretty high-tech stuff, isn't it? God, it's too much technology nowadays, isn't there? I don't trust technology, man. Way too much of it. You never know what technology's going to do you? Huh? You ever have this happen? You phone your buddy at home or at work, and for some freaky technological reason, you get passed through to their fax line by mistake? And instead of hearing their warm, comforting, familiar voice, you get that horrible noise. It's like... And you're like, Chewbacca? And you don't want to feel like a complete loser, so you try to have a conversation anyways? You're like... Man, everything's Star Wars nowadays, isn't it, man? You go out to dinner with a friend between their beeping watch, their cell phone. It's like you're out with R2-D2 for the evening, isn't it? All you hear all night is boop, 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 boop. It's like halfway through your meal, you're like, I say, R2, this really is a fine cheeseburger.
That made me chuckle. You like a good origin
Uh-oh,
story.
there's laughters going on.
Yes. Well, we're a fun crew.
I'm sending memes.
She is. We don't have an everyday hero this week. But remember our usual thing on that. Not all heroes wear capes. If you know a police officer, a firefighter, EMT, paramedic, nurse, current or former military person who is your personal hero, send us a message telling us all about them, and we're going to give that person a shout-out on the air. All of those would go to producer Sherry at fc3roc.org. And Sherry spells her name funnies compared to other Sherrys. It's Cherie because she has to be unique and different. So it'd be Sherry at fc3roc.org.
Blame my mother.
I will feel happy to blame you instead because it's by proxy.
Wait.
So,
Wait.
what?
Since we don't have a hero, can I tell you one of mine?
All right, go ahead, Ian. Tell us.
All right.
So we're gonna do. Ian's gonna supply us with an everyday hero today.
Yes.
Go for it.
Since I go to an all-boys school, I have a teacher named Mr. Bogart.
Okay.
Bogart is a father with his wife, and he has a child, and he's just an all-around cool teacher.
Okay.
He'll listen to you if you want to talk anytime, actually.
What does he teach?
He teaches earth science.
Nice. So you dig him as a teacher and as a dude.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you get a chance to chat with him from time to time.
Yep.
And Bogart's kind of that guy who's willing to listen to the fellas.
Yes.
Dig it. So Mr. Bogart, we got a
Bogey.
salute.
There we go.
Humphrey Bogart.
Is his
Bogey.
wife's name Lauren by any chance?
No.
No. So it's not Bogart and Lauren Bacall.
I've
Okay.
already made that one.
All right. Dolly just sent me a picture through Facebook of there's the spider on Tobey Maguire's hand, and then all of a sudden he becomes Spider-Man.
Oh, I saw that.
You know, and then
I figure Chris likes a good origin story.
yeah, and then there's the fuzzy dog biting a finger, and the next picture is Chewbacca.
Actually, Peter Mayhew has actually posted that one.
Has he posted that
also.
one before?
Yes. How you get Chewbacca.
Okay, so we've got that going for us at least. So we're going to mention the Golden Geek Awards. Sherry, tell us a little bit more about the Golden Geek Awards. I know that you did a little bit of looking into on this.
Well, the Golden Geek Awards, they're in their 12th year.
Mm-hmm.
They're part of the Board Game Geek Con in Dallas, Texas. and they have nominees from they have just tons of different awards that they give out.
Yes.
And I just thought it was so fascinating. The thing that caught my ear was, I know you're a big fan of Matthew Mercer.
Right. He's like my new man crush. I love that man.
Yes.
Yes.
He's
and
awesome.
he is up for an award for Best RPG Supplement for a critical role for his campaign setting.
Right.
Also, that Xanathar's Guide to Everything, Tales from the Yawning Portal, the Grand Grimoire of Cthulhu, Mythos Magic, Delta Green Handler's Guide. These are all the ones that are up for Best Supplemental.
Okay. Oh, I'm seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah. And they have everything from board games to RPGs to video games, and they just give out tons of awards every year.
That's cool.
And what really fascinated me is, guys, we have a con.
We do. I noticed that. Somebody told me about that recently.
Isn't it FC3?
Yeah.
Is that what's FC3 for?
It was
Flatulent Christian chimpanzees?
No.
No.
Flower City Comic Con.
Flower City Comic Con.
Yes.
So we have a con too. So we should. Are you suggesting, Sherry, that we should start doing our own awards?
I think we should.
Or should we call it the Monkeys?
Hey, we're the monkeys.
Nah, see, that might be confusing then. So we probably won't call it the Monkeys. We'll call it the Simians. No. We'll call it. We'll find a name.
But what would we want to give awards for?
Oh, that's a good question. That's an excellent question.
They also give awards for podcasts, so maybe we'll win a Golden Geek Award.
There you go.
Eventually.
I would suggest something like favorite comic book artist, perhaps. That would be a good category. Favorite superhero movie. Favorite fandom might be a thing.
Interesting.
I don't know. Favorite radio personality? For me, that would be Billy. That's a no-brainer.
Direction.
Billy's my favorite, too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, seriously.
Who's that?
Exactly. I second Ian's question.
There it is.
We could go in an entirely different direction.
Oh, and that direction would be?
Something like the Razzies.
Okay. So we're going to be like taking cracks at people.
Yeah.
I don't...
We do that anyway.
Yeah, well, it's usually to each other, though.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd feel comfortable mocking someone else when I've done so little in my life.
Shut up, Billy.
Oh!
Now you're pushing
now
it.
you know who Billy is.
Now you're pushing it, Sunshine. Mike, I would have a hard time with that because we've always tried to be such a fostering and supportive.
We want to be positive.
And upbeat and have a good time kind of a thing. So to turn around and start throwing shots at people,
We'll throw shots at each other.
I'm throwing shots at Tanya all day long.
Sucks. I was thinking about things like creepiest slash.
Oh dear Lord!
Ship.
we have interns that would be like all in on that.
DC ones.
What was that, Monk?
I can think of some pretty creepy DC ones.
Oh God! Nightwing and clone of Nightwing. I don't know. No.
Joker and Batman.
Oh, ew.
Anything involving siblings always gets my vote.
There you go. So the Luke and Leah paradox.
Jamie and Cersei.
Oh God.
Sorry.
Kaiser Soze.
Kaiser Soze and himself and verbal. All right. So that's a thing.
There's a lot of nominations for the Annual Golden Geek Awards.
There's pages of stuff here. There's a lot of stuff that they cover. Now, do they actually like present a physical award to these people, or?
At the con in November.
Okay, and this is the BGG con. Who's that?
It's
Board Game Geek.
Yes.
Board game. Oh my God, my brain.
I just got to read my own notes. The thing is, if I read the notes, then I'll actually answer these questions.
The
Board Game Geek. It's run by BoardGameGeek.com, RPGGeek.com, and VideoGameGeek.com websites, and it's at the Board Game Geeks convention in Dallas.
Oh, okay. And that's in November, you said?
In November, yes.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. We'll have to see how that plays out.
Look at the winners later.
I like it. It's definitely a thing. All right. I know for one, I definitely want Mercer's book about Teldorai because I'm more keen on learning more about how he crafted a game world as I've been crafting my own for so long. And Xanathar's Guide, I've talked about that recently. It's just a hell of a lot. It's a great book. Tales of the Yawning Portal I have.
You do have that. I was just going to ask you if you had that.
Yep, I've been running. It's great because it's like a re-imaging of some of the classic modules from Dungeons and Dragons into the 5th edition rule set. So like I've already run them through Forge of Fury and a couple of others. They're coming up on White Plume Mountain eventually. They just don't know it yet.
Oh, I played White Plume Mountain.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that one.
I have to make some changes though because I've already given these people some pretty potent weapons that will grow with them over time. So to have them hand them Black Razor would be kind of like, oh God.
But you don't get to keep the weapons in White Plume Mountain.
You don't? It's been ages since I played that one.
Yeah, I can't. I don't think I've ever played that one.
You're hired to get them.
Oh, and I have to give them up?
Yeah.
Well, most of these characters in my party are all playing chaotic neutral, so I'm not sure exactly how likely they would likely to give them up.
I'm neutral good.
It's chaotic Wexler.
So there's only one weapon they could actually use anyways.
And what is that?
Wave.
I used the rest of the party. Come on.
Jeez. That's Tanya's way of approaching the game is basically to go, you do this, you do this, you do this.
Chris is asking, what signature weapon, what weapon do you use? I'm like, does the rest of the party count?
Yeah.
Delegation.
Delegation is a thing.
I'm a wizard. I use the rest of the party. Come on. No, I'm looking at the best 3DS games that are on here. And actually, Tyler has both the Fire Emblem Echoes and the Fire Emblem Warriors game that he's played on his 3DS. I think I'm going to have to go steal those.
Molto bene.
Because I like the Fire Emblem games.
Hey, Edwin.
Yes.
What's good on Twitch lately?
Pretty much mostly what's on Twitch right now are like the number one games that are just coming out now, like Call of Duty World War II, Destiny 2. You got the new update for Overwatch. You got the new update for Rainbow Six Siege. Mostly League of Legends, Dota, World of Warcraft.
What's Dota?
Dota is pretty much like what started the massive multiplayer battle arenas. Like that's where League of Legends came from.
Oh.
Now, Call of Duty has a whole thing about World War II at this point?
Yeah, they pretty much, quote-unquote, went back to their roots because that's how Call of Duty started, was doing the World War II games.
Okay.
So they're trying to...
And is that PlayStation 3 or just 4?
That's PS4, PC, and Xbox One.
Okay. So if I get this one, Call of Duty World War II, he'll actually start learning what happened.
Actually, if you had an Xbox, we have that at home.
Okay. Do not stab me with that pen. I will ground you until you're 40.
It would be worth it.
I still have to...
Maybe in those years I can learn about World War II.
Yeah, we have to tag Mr. Best for this particular podcast. This is a thing that has to happen.
Ian, what grade are you in now?
He's a
18th.
freshman. He's a freshman in high school.
Next year for Global, you'll discuss World War II.
I should have learned it last year.
Well,
that's Best's fault.
In 10th grade, you'll talk about World War II in Global 2 or whatever, and then again in U.S. History your junior year. So you'll get it twice again before you graduate.
Sweet.
Yes.
You know what else is good on Twitch?
What's good on Twitch?
Oh, there you go.
Tell me, Ian.
You ready?
Go ahead.
the/guy/in/the/cha1.
What?
What?
All right, what's the title without the slashes?
The guy in the cha one.
In the chair.
The guy in the chair.
In the chair, but he used a 1 instead of an I.
Exactly.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
See, he's doing a pitch for Edwin's Twitch channel right now.
And
That would be me.
Mighty Monkey has a Twitch channel.
We do. We have our Twitch channel, which has been live for a few weeks now, and we're covering...
I'm so exhausted from playing.
Hours upon hours. See, for me, it's good because it's got me back into World of Warcraft, which I've been playing since it came out. So it's like 14 years of addiction there in this
And I
way.
soon followed along.
Yep. That's a thing.
Well, then I know PlayStation released some free. Were there free games, honey? The Crash Bandicoot or whatever.
Oh, you mean the Ratchet and Clank?
Ratchet and
Ratchet.
Clank.
Yeah, 'cause
they look the
usually-
same to me.
Yeah, because usually each month PlayStation, if you got PlayStation Plus, gives out free games.
Mm-hmm.
So same as Microsoft, with Gold you get 4 games for free.
Okay.
So right now for this month for the PS4 would be Bloodborne,
Okay.
Ratchet and Clank, and I can't remember the other ones. The other ones were mostly more like indie games.
Okay.
And then for the Xbox One, one of them, which I can't remember right now, because they're mostly indie games. The ones that are being released for free for the Xbox Gold right now for indie, so there's not
I
that
thought
many.
the Crash and Clank was a fun one because it's a throwback.
Oh yeah, that one's like a remastered version of the original one that came out for the PS2.
Gotcha.
And since we're throwing out Twitch handles, I thought I'd throw out our Mighty Monkey Twitch. It's Mighty Monkey _TV.
That's it. Mighty
That's
Monkey
it.
TV.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to keep it as simple as possible. Mighty Monkey _TV.
Yep.
And that's our channel. Good shot, Dolly. Thank you very much.
I did not realize that this is like Amazon product.
What?
Twitch.
Twitch is an Amazon
Twitch
product?
is an Amazon product.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it
That's
wasn't
a thing.
until I was like clicking store and it came
Jeff Bezos is going to be buying us soon.
came into Amazon. No.
Sherry, here's something that was brought up earlier before we started recording today. Is we're going to try and push that we're actually in studio more on Twitter, and see if we can get people to contact us while we're in the studio and maybe ask us questions and whatnot, and then we can like try to be a little more interactive on the fly, acknowledging the fact that the Twitterverse is not listening to the podcast as we're recording it, but kind of giving us feedback. So if we're on Twitter, does the podcast have a Twitter, or is just the FC3 Twitter right now?
Just the FC3. You and I have been talking about starting a podcast Twitter, but we hadn't made a decision yet.
Right. So there's a lot of developments happening because we're doing some stuff at the company level to make things a little bit easier to manage. And as we do that, then we're going to start spreading social media out a little bit more. So if you're following us on Facebook and you're following us on Twitter, dear listener, we will definitely be letting people know more often when we are in the studio. So when you see that, feel free to throw anything you want at us, and questions and comments and whatnot. Hey, I should be talking about such and such. Hey, I got a question about this sort of thing, and then we will record our responses. And then when the podcast is aired, you will hear that we're actually talking to you. So that's kind of cool. And then we'll be also kind of adding that to Twitch as well. So when we're on Twitch, we'll be letting people know. So that you can join us there and interact with us directly while we are playing our favorite games. We've got some events coming up. Ian, can you clue us into what events are coming up?
Where would the events be?
They're
In
right
the box
there.
at the bottom.
All right.
And since this is the 21st of March, these next events are coming up this coming weekend.
We have Superheroes Weekend, March 24th. At 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. and March 25th from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Strong Museum of Play. We also have Sci-Fi Quiz, which is March 24th. Time to be
decided.
Time to be
it's probably gonna be
decided.
like
7:30.
I figure 7:30, 8 o'clock at Knox.
the Knox Event Room.
There you
and
go.
Then we also have FC3 Board Game Night, April 4th, and the end should be time to be debated too at Knox Event Room again.
All right, very good. Thank you very much, young man. Anybody got some closing stuff? We're going to get to the question of the week. Do you have a question of the week, producer Sherry?
I thought she has it right there.
Is that right here in the notes?
Yeah, right at the bottom.
What are we checking into lately? That's been our standard question
Yes.
lately. I think that's good, nice and consistent.
We'll start switching it up soon, but
Okay, all right. So hey, Billy,
Yes, sir.
what book, TV show, movie, game, or album are you reading, watching, playing, or listening to right now?
Actually, to keep up with the theme, this whole monkey theme, two of the monkeys, Mickey Dolenz and Mike Nesmith, are going
Very
out
cool.
on tour. I've never seen Michael Nesmith before, and I think he's just an underrated musical genius. He was
Nice.
one of the first country western guys that combined rock and music, and they're going to be touring together, and I have tickets to see them in Cleveland.
Very cool.
In June, so I'll be going to Cleveland to see Mike and Mickey do the Monkey Show.
That is good.
Wow, you're really busy in June.
Yeah, I am.
How about you, Tanya?
Oh, probably just gaming and trying to get stuff organized for FC3.
Right, yeah, because that's
And-
coming up.
Yeah, getting
We're in the countdown series now.
the stuff ready for the
Convention?
the convention weekend. But I was also thinking like the sci-fi quiz night and making sure that we have things ready,
Right. We
prizes,
gotta write
and
that
things
quiz
like
out.
that. I know that when I was talking to Sarah the other day, she was thinking that each one of you guys that are working on the quiz to take a genre from the sci-fi, like you would probably take Doctor Who or Star Wars or whatever, and
Or all of the above.
or all of the above, yeah. And then so therefore it wasn't as overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I have to also double check with Sarah to see how their Nerf gun war went. On,
Absolutely. That was a
yes.
couple weeks ago at this
Yes.
point. I know they
that was what March 3rd.
Yeah, they covered all the way through the Village Gate Mall. They were
they were afraid that they might get in trouble.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see if they actually got
if
in
they
trouble
did or not.
Yeah.
So
There wasn't enough Nerf guns in the picture.
how about you, Dolly? Other than Edwin, what's been keeping you happy lately? Of course, I'm making an assumption. He's still here. You haven't killed him yet, so there's a possibility that...
It's because he didn't go any further with the gauges.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he drives me nuts. I love him, though. I've been obsessed with muffins lately.
Muffins?
Mm-hmm.
Chocolate chip, peanut butter?
Blueberry.
Blueberry muffins are like my thing right now, and
it's-
making them healthy. Like I'm like replacing stuff.
Like what? Like the blueberries?
No, I'm leaving the blueberries in.
Are you leaving the blueberries?
Mm-hmm. But like instead of vegetable oil, I'm using unflavored coconut oil, and
Okay.
I use almond milk instead of milk. And
Oh, okay.
Like that.
So tried to go a little more healthy with them.
Yeah, because I love muffins now.
Yeah. But huge carbs. That's the killer. Billy will tell you.
I'm looking for different
Actually,
ways.
I'll
Carbs are
ask my
yummy.
wife. My wife is now making muffins and scones that are carb free.
They're like
wow.
some type of
Yeah.
keto diet.
Yes.
Well, there's different like flours you can buy.
Yes. My doctor had told me to try go gluten free. Would also probably help my type 2 diabetes and try to lose some weight.
Yeah,
But it's just not as tasty.
and obviously we're getting ready for Infinity War.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
Yeah, because that's like right
April
around the corner now.
27th,
That's a
yeah.
month away at this point, so that's kind of like
we've had
exciting.
the countdown.
Yeah.
He didn't believe me when I told him that it was changed to April 27th. He's like, "No, it's
There was
supposed
this
to be May,"
whole
and I'm like, "No,
Robert
look at the
Downey
meme. I am
Jr.
showing
Yeah.
you all
I
these
thought
things."
it was
Is
a
it
meme.
ju-
It's like, nah, I can't
Mr.
be.
Stark, anything for you, Mr. Stark. Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Can everyone see it that weekend? Absolutely. Okay.
Movie theaters around the world are panicking now. They're like, wait a second, we were ready. Oh, crap.
Well, it was hard because it would be on May the 4th, and I'm sorry, that's a Star Wars weekend
That's
type thing.
one of our volunteer PAs.
She's getting married that Friday
and
night.
I'm officiating the wedding.
So thank God they moved it up a week.
Exactly, because I
You're
was like, May
you're
the
like-
4th, I can't go to this movie on May the 4th. I'm busy. So, and it's very
You're like,
important.
Sorry, Ann.
I always go the Thursday that it comes out.
Yeah, I usually
have
go
to
the
work-
Saturday.
I have to work on Friday.
But we
so.
got something going on that Saturday, May the 5th, if I remember
It's
correctly.
our cosplay day.
Is it cosplay day? Okay.
That's
we got
where we're traveling the city of Rochester.
It's basically
in
we're just doing
costume.
a mobile photo shoot. Is that in essence
Yes.
what cosplay day is? We're just driving
Revenge
all
of the
over with some of our ambassadors?
Because after May the 4th be with you, it's Revenge of the 5th.
Revenge of the
Yeah.
5th.
Fifth, yep.
Yeah.
I always
Cinco
get
de
so
Mayo.
That's what Kelly and Arrow say.
Oh,
Cinco de
I am
Mayo.
so there's blood orange margaritas in my future on that day. There's a
We
thing.
might
That's a
have to
thing.
do a photo shoot at Salinas.
That's a thing. That's a thing. How about you, Edwin? Other than Dolly, what's keeping you happy these days?
Oh, I'm kind of happy that I got the chance to hook back up with a buddy of mine in Puerto Rico.
Oh, nice.
We got the chance to play again Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4. It's been
How
a
they
while.
doing down there?
They're still struggling.
Yeah.
But thank God, things are slowly starting to get back.
A little back to normal.
They're starting to get back on their feet. But, it was kind of nice to be able to play with him online. And,
Good deal.
Drive Dolly crazy because that's pretty much a daily thing. I kind of feel accomplished that I got her into playing Darksiders. Just seeing her, literally just sit there and play and have a good time. That's more than happy. It makes me more than happy. Just
there you go.
watching her.
It's a shared thing.
We have a setup. We have two
yeah.
TVs,
Mhm.
so he's playing on one, I'm playing on the other.
Okay, so that's important. All right, Sherry, what's making you happy lately, dear?
No snow.
No snow. You say that, but here's the thing: there probably is a snowstorm just before this recording actually gets
Probably.
posted. So you're
I'm
you're
getting it out
asking,
of the way now.
You are so asking for it. You are so asking
March
for
is
that.
Snowmageddon.
Go ahead, Sher.
I guess it's making me happy, but it's also making me crazed. We're in the last month of planning for our roller derby tournament,
Okay.
and I am in charge of the hospitality room. I am in charge of sponsorship. I am in charge of along with someone else, we are in charge of all of the vendors. We're a little crazed.
That's a little busy. Is that Siege that you're talking about?
Yes, the Siege of Central New York.
Okay.
Or Siege of CNY.
Gotcha.
I first thought you said you were going to be in charge of the
people need to come
hospital.
out.
Sherry,
What?
I first thought you were going to say that you're in charge of the hospital, not hospitality. And I'm like, oh, God,
Hospitality room.
you're scaring
You
me.
guys should come out for the Siege. It's awesome.
When is that
is
going to
it?
be?
That is the weekend of the 21st and 22nd
Okay.
of April.
Of April.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Hopefully I'll be able to have some... I'm going to check my calendar right now while we're talking about it. While I'm looking, Ian, what's making you happy lately, buddy? Sleep?
No.
Snow days?
No.
Anything?
The spoilers.
Potato chips?
Potato chips are yummy.
Dark side and blueberry muffin.
I'll have to bring some. I'm going to go buy a big muffin tin.
Yay.
You're still powering along on Old Republic, right?
Yeah, and I've been watching an anime called Casino Stigma.
That's an older one, isn't it? Is that an older one?
Yes, it is, but I found it. That's why I've been watching it.
You've been having fun with that?
I've been having a lot of fun with it.
Cool deal.
When you're playing Old Republic, are you actually like looking at the conversations between you and the NPCs instead of just clicking?
I've been doing a little bit of both. I had to click because of Quaizen's main quest because it was way too long. But I've been listening to the storylines. Monk, you had something to say?
Go, Monk.
Back up. I want to go back to the anime Ian's watching.
Casino Stigma?
I feel like I've heard that. Where did you find that?
Is it on
we
Netflix?
watched it about 5 years ago. And now it's on YouTube because I can't find it on Netflix.
Okay, so you can get on YouTube
Yeah.
and watch it through YouTube.
It's kind of funny that you're speaking about anime. You know, we're actually kind of dying to watch the new episode of Dragon Ball Super.
Oh, God, I can't stand that. I'm sorry. So much screaming.
last week I did mention that I was reading a new manga.
Right.
So.
And by this time, I'll have watched all of Season 5 of Voltron.
That's a possibility.
I still need to catch up on that.
That's a possibility.
You know, in December they're coming out with the Messenger movie, right?
The who?
Messenger X?
I don't know this person.
You do not know Messenger?
I do not know Messenger.
Messenger?
I can
Not
second
Messenger, but Messenger.
Messenger.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me look.
Messenger.
I will look this up. So that's a thing. That's my homework now.
Pretty much Messenger is pretty much like where they got Voltron.
Oh, really?
So like the idea from.
Oh, okay. And so they're redoing that. There's a new.
There's a live action movie that's going to be coming out in December of this year.
Interesting.
And I'm like,
Jonesin.
I'm
How
dying
do you spell
to see.
that?
M-A-S-S?
Well, my M-A-S-S goes to M-E-S-S-E-N-G and went over to Facebook Messenger
Oh,
automatically.
of course. All right.
So-
Well, we'll work on that
I'm
one.
looking at it right now.
We'll work on that one. And then, so is that everybody? Everybody in? Huh?
No,
Monk.
we didn't hear.
Monk.
Oh, I never actually talked about.
Oh, go ahead,
what makes
Monkers.
me happy.
Go, baby.
Well, there's a game that I keep up pretty consistently on my phone. That's technically it's a Facebook game. Criminal Case, the Find It murder mystery game.
Okay.
So I'm on like case 41.
Is it a Facebook one?
Yeah.
I started that and then I kind of like got distracted
Yeah, I
by
know
other
you
stuff.
started it. You're one of my friends that I like try and get stuff from.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Maybe if
God.
I'm never on the Facebook on the computer, so and I've got so many other apps on my phone. So maybe I'll log in sometime on my computer and send you some stuff.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Okay.
It's all good.
Yeah, but the Messenger
Okay,
was with
hey.
a Z.
Yes, dear.
With a Z, yes.
Before we finish, I have a quote
Go.
that I think you might find funny.
Quote away.
Okay, this is by Nathan Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, I have a level 85 Dwarven Paladin and an 82 Shadow Priest, and I'm currently leveling a warrior through Northrend, although I spend most of my time tanking instances in the Dungeon Finder.
Mm-hmm.
I've held off on getting into Mists of Pandoria because I got burned out on endgame progression after Wraith of the Lich King, and the Cataclysm content is still new to me. Plus, mugs seem redundant in an era of dual specialization and viable hybrid DPS, and while I know they're well established in the lore, Pandarian doesn't appeal to me. So I'm wrapping up on a Tonka quest line in the Borean tundra, trying to determine if I should go to the Dragonblight or Grizzly Hills. And now you know how I feel when you won't shut up about sports.
I caught every single World of Warcraft reference in that note. I understood every
I can
single
honestly
thing
say
he said.
I did not.
I did.
Yeah. Ian
I don't play WoW.
Ian and I
don't
were
either,
there.
yeah.
And
Wow,
so
you haven't played WoW?
I understood
play WoW.
every single reference. That makes me happy, I
I don't
suppose.
usually pay to play games.
I will, and I will conclude the whole "what's making you happy" thing because I know I haven't submitted my 2 cents in on it yet, but I have.
Because of inflation, it's 4.
There you go. I have started writing again. Yeah, it's been a long time. I've been working on this same book for probably on and off for about 12 years at this point. I created these characters a good 12, 13 years ago, and there's like half a story that's been written. But life always gets in the way of a good author, I suppose. So between DMing 3 campaigns, playing in a 4th, planning FC3, running the Mighty Monkey Corporation, reorganizing the Mighty Monkey Corporation, and working 8 to 5 every day for the city of Rochester, I've started writing my book again.
Because none of us likes this mythical thing called free
Sleep.
time.
Yeah, free time is not a thing I understand. But
What is this thing you speak of?
well, yeah, one of these days I think maybe like I'll print something out and I will bring a snippet of this book with me to a future podcast. So when we're at dead air, I'll just go ahead and do a quick reading or something like that.
You can do like Capaldi and just sleep while other people are talking.
Yes,
like
it saves time. Yes, I'll wake up during my bit. So that's that, and then it was fun. It's fun to be able to start looking back through my notes and remembering all of these things that I was planning on doing with these stories and these people. And as I've said on several occasions when we're talking about movies and TV series, sometimes the interaction between the characters is more important to me than the story. You want a good story. I'm trying to build a good story, but I love how I've created these personalities and how they interact with each other and who likes who and who doesn't like what, and their loves and things they don't like. It's a lot of fun to be able to see these people in action and start kind of creating them again. So it's kind of neat. So that's a thing that's happening, and this book will probably be written somewhere around. I'd say I'm going to finish it probably around 2032 at the rate that I'm going. It'll be my Mr. Holland's opus. And then that'll be that.
It'll be your Rosebud.
Yeah, Rosebud. Done. Muffins.
Blueberry muffins.
Oh, boy.
So that's that, and that has been episode 73 of Monkey Business, and so we thank you guys for hanging out with us as always, and we are the Mighty Monkey Corporation, purveyors and producers of the Flower City Comic-Con, coming at you June 9th and 10th of 2018 at the Rochester Riverside Convention Center. Follow us on Facebook, love us on Facebook, subscribe to us on Patreon. FC3 ROC is how you can find us in both of those platforms. We will be back again next week. And you guys have a great one, have a safe one, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Dun, dun.
Muffins.